everyone, and welcome to another speed build. This is my first Penthouse build in the new City Living pack, and it is also my first build using the Vintage Glamour stuff that came in the Vintage Glamour stuff pack. So this Penthouse is a pretty big one, that's why this video is so long, and it is called, what is it called? It is called the Luxe Life Penthouse. I think it's just called Luxe Life Penthouse, no the. So you can search that on the gallery. Just remember that if you download it, you do have to put in doors because you have to delete walls in order to upload a penthouse to the gallery. It's really kind of dumb, but that's the way it is. So yeah, so you have to make sure to put in doors. I deleted all the walls where the doors were so you could easily put them in yourself. This house is, what is it, 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, but one of those bed and bath rooms is for the butler. So a butler, if you don't know, came with the Vintage Glamour stuff pack. So I did build a butler's quarter for obviously the butler because I assumed if you live in this big and nice of a penthouse that you can probably afford a butler. So I did put that in there, but you could easily delete it and turn it into something else. It's right off the kitchen, so I don't know, you could turn it into something. This house is about 400,000 simoleons. It is really expensive, but it is massive and it comes with so many things that it's kind of worth it. If you are playing a sim who obviously, like, you would more than likely you would have to cheat to get the kind of money to afford this place, but I kind of assumed that this house would belong to like a sports agent or like an athlete because, I mean, let's be honest, if you have a house this big, you are either a rock star or like a basketball player, like someone who pulls down billions of dollars. Well, maybe millions. I mean, you could probably swing it with millions, but someone who has a lot of money. So I just kind of spared no expense and just went with what I felt. I did try to make the building look like it was kind of part of the rest of the building because I messed around with it a little bit before and it looked a little bit strange. So I do use the same coloring and try to use similar placement for things. I do throw in gold and white, whereas the rest of the building is obviously kind of gray and silver. So it's a little bit different, but I still think that it goes pretty well with the rest of the house. And here you can see I'm using the same tiles that they used. And I think I was going to use the same dark gray, but I just didn't like it. So I ended up going with just a simple white mixed with that. And I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. I think that it blends in well enough, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like it could definitely be part of that same building. And I did put some billboards on top of it, which I really love. It just kind of sells the feeling of this being a penthouse versus like just a home. So I did try to incorporate some greenery, which is what I'm doing, like what I did with obviously all that grass under the windows and on top of the roof part, just because I didn't want it to be all concrete. And I do cut that out because this video is already so long, so I was just telling you now so you know. And here I'm working on the entrance into the building, or well, into the building, I don't know, and kind of working on the stair section up to the top floor. So we do have like an entrance room because you don't want people just walking like directly into your home. And then that room, when you walk to the front door, goes straight into the stairs so that you can head upstairs or go through 2 archways into the rest of the house. So I actually am really happy with the setup. This house is really massive, like I said, but I think it's pretty cool. So there you go. And I'm so excited because this is actually my first video back from being busy with school. So finals are officially done. I don't have my grades yet, but I'm done for the semester, which means that I don't start class again until January like 20 something, which is so awesome. And I'm kind of like losing my voice a little bit because it's been really cold here, so sorry if I sound kind of croaky. But yeah, I'm so excited I have filmed some backlog videos that I haven't been able to post yet just because I've been too busy to even edit them. So you'll probably see those. Well, I might put this one up first just to kind of give you guys a heads up, and then I'll put those up before I put up the new ones that I filmed. But I am filming new ones. Almost finished with Life After the Bachelorette, so that should be coming to an end very shortly. It's taken me a long time to play to where I want to be to end it because I'm doing like a machinima. And then we're going to end the Bachelor Challenge. We're going to pick up Camp Clearwater Killer, which actually, when I was looking at it the other day, I'm pretty sure that that's almost done too. Just a few more episodes with that. I'm not sure exactly how many, but it's not going to go on much longer. So we've got a lot of changes coming to the channel because I'm going to be ending a lot of series. And I'm going to be starting up some new stuff. I would like to play some more games besides The Sims too, kind of like I did The Wolf Among Us. So if you guys have any suggestions for games that I should play, leave them down in the comments below because that is always awesome because I find out about cool games through you guys. So, and I do have Steam through my husband's account, like we share an account. So if it's like a Steam game, go ahead and leave that down below and I'll check it out. So as you can see through the build though, because I never talk about the build, so let's get back to it because I'm sure we'll veer from it again. I kind of went with an overall feel of like gold and white. With definitely the strong Art Deco because that was the vintage glamour stuff, but I do throw in some more like black and white, and I think there's some blues and things here and there, but overall the house feel is definitely gold, black, and white. And I think that's kind of typical if you're going to be building with the vintage glamour stuff because that is definitely like the color scheme throughout it. So I did the entryway, a small bathroom off to the side, and kind of like a weird, I don't even know what you'd call that side room that kind of goes out to the porch. And then this is the dining room, and the dining room I went with just white and then some walls with white tile. Again, gold and white is a strong theme in here. I did use that big like light up wall thing from Dine Out, I think it was from. And I do line this wall with those mirrors. I love those big mirrors. I think that's like one of my favorite things that came with this pack. So pretty stoked on that. The kitchen I think has a gold and white wall, but overall it's kind of like a beige and white. And I do forget to put a sink in here, but don't worry, I put some sinks in before I upload it. So there are some sinks when you download it. I couldn't believe I forgot that though. It was so silly. But it is a giant kitchen, 2 stoves, 2 sinks. I think I only put 1 fridge. I do put a bar in here. I figured, obviously, if they have a butler, they probably wouldn't be spending very much time in the kitchen. So this kitchen was kind of built more for, like, using purposes versus looking really good. I still think it looks nice, but it's not quite as over the top as it would be if this family like had to cook themselves, because I kind of envisioned that it's like a sports agent or like an athlete or something, and then his wife is very over the top glamorous, like very just feminine and wants everything matchy-matchy, so she kind of took over the decoration for the home. So that's kind of my vision behind it. Like obviously you can change that completely. You can have 2 male Sims live here or just a bunch of female Sims and change the bedrooms, but I did set it up for a family like with a husband, a wife, and then I kind of envisioned teenage twins, so that's kind of where I was coming from. So if you're wondering, yeah. Anyways, this room is actually an in-home theater, which I think was super cool. Just a really neat addition. I put in a little kind of kitchenette area with a popcorn machine and an ice cream machine and a place where they could get drinks. It's really low lit in here. I covered the windows with the light up curtains that came with like the luxury party stuff or whatever it was. And again, I just kind of use gold and white in here, and I do carpet it instead of put wood flooring just because Like, I figured carpet would kind of dampen the sound of the home theater, so that's what I did. Put in some sofas, and then I go around and put in movie posters all over the room and kind of light them up. So maybe the person who works here is like into movies, or works here. The person who lives here like works in movies or is into movies. I don't know. But I thought, hey, if I was a billionaire, I would totally have a home theater, because why not if you've got the space for it? So I put that in here, and I really like the way that it turned out. I do light up, yeah, here we go, light up the movie posters so that they look a little more professional. And then we are moving on to the butler's room. Now, the butler's room is obviously less classy. Like, you can tell they kind of have older appliances, not really that nicely decorated, because obviously the person who decorated the house was like, why would I decorate the butler's room? Nobody cares, it's the butler. So that's what I went with in here. Went with a blue theme, and it's definitely not as fancy. It's a little more lived in, but I feel like you could have either a male or a female butler in here, and it would work perfectly fine for either. So they do have their own little, what is this, living room kind of area. Do I put in a bookshelf? I think I put in a bookshelf. Yeah. No? Maybe not. I do put in a computer though. I thought I did put in that little bookshelf. So yeah, they have a computer, a bookshelf, and a little living room area, so I figured they would probably spend most of their time in their bedroom. I wanted to put a little dining area in there too, but it wouldn't look good, so I just left it alone. But this room is the kind of family kind of living room. They have a little marble fireplace, and I put in a little like tile buffer area just because you wouldn't want the floor to get all dirty from the like ashes and stuff. And I do put in barbecue utensils next to it, and I know that seems kind of silly, but I turned them at an angle, so my hope is that they kind of look more like fireplace tools versus obviously barbecue tools. And this is the room where I really introduced that strong black and white kind of contrast with the gold. I absolutely love the matte black and the glossy black wallpaper. Like, I think that's my favorite one, and I put the gold one behind the TV, as you can see. Use that black rug, use some of the new furniture. Love the new couch with the cushions. I think that it is so cute, and I was struggling to find like chairs that I wanted to put in there. I really wanted to use that light gold color that was in the pillows, but I couldn't find it, so I ended up settling for just some black armchairs, and I think it looks okay in the end because I used the white marble like coffee table, and I really like the way that it turns out. My assumption would be that maybe the wife was kind of decorating just over the top gold and white with a lot of rooms, and so her husband kind of took control of some of the spaces and was like, no, like, we're gonna have some black in here just to kind of contrast everything, because it's just too much. Like, it's too much white. So that is what I kind of envisioned. They do have a grand piano because they are fancy. I moved the chandelier over there, put in, I think I changed that. Yeah, I put in one of the more abstract paintings. I feel so bad putting paintings on this wallpaper because it is so pretty. Like, it's artwork itself, so why would you want to cover it up, you know? I do stick one of the new little globe bars in the corner, and I think that's it. I don't think I end up putting anything else in there because, like I said, the wallpaper is just too pretty to cover up. So this room is the office of the male sim. I do, like I said, I assumed that he would be like a sports person, so I do put a lot of like sports memorabilia around, but you could, I mean, just assume maybe that the person who has this office is just a collector, so you don't have to like put them in the sports career. I don't know. Anyways, it is again very black and gold with that contrast of like the light gold and the dark black. Love this flooring. It's the basketball flooring from City Living. I think it's so pretty, so I use that throughout the whole house, and I don't know, I think that it creates a nice contrast, especially when it's against the black. I really like that. So I put in a computer, put in some little chairs for meetings, and then more books, and then this whole wall here I cover with like sports jerseys and like awards and certificates and things that I would assume the person won for, like, I don't know, best sports agent or whatever. So here you go. You can see that I'm putting it up now. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think that it looks nice, but again, if your Sims isn't into sports, if your Sim isn't into sports, you can easily just get rid of those paintings and put up like a big painting or something. Now this room is kind of like the library slash multi-purpose skill room. I put in a lot of bookshelves, I put in another computer and some instruments, an easel, and a microphone, so that there's a place for the other Sims in the house to kind of get their skills that they need. I should have put in a couch for being able to read now that I think about it, but I didn't think about it at the time, so there is no couch in this room. But you could easily put in like a little chair or like a little love seat or something so that your Sims can sit down and study in the library, which would make a lot of sense, but you know, whatever. Now this room was really weird to furnish because it's basically just a hallway like around the stairs. So I just put a couple of decorative pieces and like one of those little ottomans. It works. I don't know. It's not my favorite room, but my guess is you probably won't spend a lot of time on the landing. At least I would hope not. So it works. Here I was just trying to find a sculpture that I liked. I don't end up keeping that. I just felt that it was really like unbalanced. So I put, I think, yeah, that painting there and just some lights, and I just moved on. So this room here is the master bedroom. It has a very large ensuite and also a very large walk-in wardrobe. This whole room is very like creams and browns and beiges, and I think that this room turned out so pretty. Really, really happy with this room. And again, this room is very strongly influenced from The Wife. At least that was like my thought behind it. I do stick a little sofa, not that one, but I do stick a sofa in this corner here, put some pretty paintings above it. I end up going with the cherry blossom paintings in kind of the gray and green colors, and I just think that they look so pretty. I don't know, I just really like that. So I introduced some more green with the plants, and I just think it turned out really nice. I put a few more like decorative items around, but overall a lot of these spaces have a lot of negative space because the rooms are so big that I didn't want to like over clutter them. So they're pretty simply decorated, but I think it has a strong impact on the whole room. Now this is the walk-in wardrobe. I put in a vanity table here and some dressers. You'll see me build up like a little faux closet area. I really love the walk-in wardrobe. It might be one of my favorite rooms. I think the whole like master suite is my favorite room, like all together. And I put in some cabinets above to look like they had more storage in there, and I just decorated it to look like a nice little space for someone to get ready for the day. Put in one of those fur rugs. I ended up going with more of the kind of peachy wallpaper in here just because I didn't want to keep using the same wallpaper like in every single room. Put up the like what you call those icons, I guess, like beauty icon pictures. Put in some little poofs and some storage boxes. Figured maybe she kept her jewelry in there or something. And I was going to put a mirror over there, but end up putting little butterflies, and I think that it looks nice. So with that, the closet is finished, and we move on to the master bathroom, which again, I bring in the black kind of color scheme with it. I actually really like the layout of this bathroom. I use that wall divider to kind of, well, I guess divide the room so that it wasn't just like a big tube, because it is kind of an odd shape, but I think that the way that I solved that problem ends up looking really nice, at least in my opinion. I put the counters against that and end up putting, I was going to put a mirror floating on the little metal thing, but I end up just sticking a mirror through the counter. I'm not sure if your Sims can still use it, but it looks nicer. You'll see me trying to find one here. I end up going with that one just because it looks like it's part of the counter. And you do have a big, like, what is that, a jacuzzi tub, I guess? A nice shower, one of the new talking toilets, and a sink. So everything you need in a bathroom, and I think it looks pretty cool. I like how the toilet and the shower bath area are kind of separate from each other. Now this room was a really strange shape, and I wasn't sure like what to do here, but we end up putting in a home gym, just with the basics, nothing too fancy. I do actually put in a fridge up here because there's that one fridge that looks like a drink fridge that came with spa day stuff or whatever it's called. So there is a drink fridge in here, which I think is pretty cool, because if you were rich and you had a gym, my assumption would be is you would have a fridge of cold water. So that's what I did. I put some sports equipment around, little basketballs here and there, and that's pretty much it. Nothing too fancy. Now this room is going to be for the teen girl, and my favorite part of her whole bedroom is her closet. She has a walk-in closet too. Her room is smaller, but she has a walk-in closet, whereas her brother's room is bigger with no walk-in closet. Now, again, I kind of took the idea of her mom furnished her bedroom, but she's not really that prim and proper. Like, she's a teenager. She likes over-the-top bright colors and music and things like that. So the deal was that she could have all her posters and she could have all that stuff, but she needed to keep it in her closet versus like out making her room look dirty. So that's why her closet is a little bit cluttered and a lot differently decorated and a little bit messy. We've got some dirty clothes on the floor, but it's differently decorated than her bedroom, because her bedroom is more of her mom's decoration, excuse me, versus the closet, which is stuff that she bought and put in her room. And I made it a little space where she would go and kind of get ready and spend some time with her friends. So I thought that it turned out pretty cute. Now this is her room, which is strongly decorated by her mother, and the color scheme is that mint and kind of light gold with the black. I really love the color scheme of this room. It's probably my favorite one that came out of the Vintage Glamour Stuff Pack, but again, this is not the daughter's taste. This is definitely her mother's influence in her room. So she kind of just puts up with it. I love that. It's kind of like opalescent, so I stuck it above the closet. And like I said, it's pretty simple. There's really not much going on in here. Her and her brother share a bathroom. They have, I think it's called a Jack and Jill bathroom, where the doors connect to both rooms. Kind of like Elena and Jeremy in The Vampire Diaries, if you watch that. I love that show. Damon Salvatore. Oh my god, don't even get me started on Damon Salvatore. Like, first of all, okay, I got started. First of all, I love Ian Somerhalder. Like, as a human being, he is just incredible. First of all, he's beautiful. Like, we'll just say it, because he's beautiful. Second of all, he's like such a good person. Like, he started a foundation and like saves animals and stuff, and he's just so sweet, and I just love him like so much, like so much. And then also Damon Salvatore, he's just like a jerk, and I love it. It's like the opposite of Ian, and it's amazing. And this is the brother's room. I'm kind of talking through this. I don't think you guys care, but I have a funny story to tell you. I don't know if I've told you before. So for Christmas last year, my mom was wrapping my present because I go over to her house and I help her wrap presents on Christmas Eve. And so she was sitting on the floor wrapping a present so that I couldn't see her. And she's like, I'm wrapping the present that your dad got you. And I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, can you guess what it is? And I was like, it's Ian Somerhalder's face in a box. And I just started laughing, like, because obviously there's no way that that's possible. But they know that, like, I'm obsessed with him. So my mom was like, Oh, and if you're wondering what's the weird stuff with, like, this gaming setup, my assumption would be that the brother is kind of really into, like, tech stuff, so he has, like, a whole big gaming setup. I do delete that second computer for, like, a homework space. There we go. But yeah, he has a huge gaming setup, and I do put posters all over his wall because he's kind of a rebel and doesn't care what his mom thinks about his room being messy. So there's that. Anyways, so come Christmas morning, I open the present that she wrapped, and I kid you not, it is a picture of Ian Somerhalder's face that my dad had gotten autographed for me. So it literally says, like, Victoria, which is my full name, Victoria XOXO Ian S, with, like, a smiley face. And I just lose it. Like, I start laughing hysterically because I said it was Ian Somerhalder's face in a box, and that's literally what it was. And, like, I start laughing hysterically. And then from my laughter, I just start sobbing. Like, it was the weirdest experience of my life. Like, I was laughing hysterically, and then it moves into just this, like, laughing, sobbing, and everyone in my family just turns and is staring at me with, like, their eyes wide. And they're like, what is happening right now? And I was like, well, I was laughing, and then I told everybody the story about Ian Somerhalder's face in a box. I was like, and then I realized that I'm holding something he touched, and I started crying. And so I was, like, holding this thing knowing that he had touched it, and I was just losing my mind. And it was just ridiculous. Like, I was overwhelmed with emotions. And then my mom's like, if you think that's cool, open the back part of it and look at it. And I was like, okay. And so I opened the back part, and when you get something signed through someone and you're not there, another person has to, like, authenticate that it was actually them. And so there's a certificate of authenticity in the back of the picture frame, and that person that signed it was Paul Wesley, who, if you don't know who Paul Wesley is, if you watch the Vampire Diaries, so Ian Somerhalder is Damon and Paul Wesley is Stefan. So my dad bought me Ian Somerhalder's autograph, but I ended up getting both of their autographs because Paul Wesley's the one that watched him sign it and authenticated it. So I just lost it completely. Like, I was freaking out because that's, like, one of my favorite, like, that and Doctor Who are my favorite TV shows. And so it was just ridiculous. And my mom told me this year, she's like, I hope you're not expecting to get something that makes you cry, because we didn't get you anything like that. And I am not someone who cries about stuff. Like, I cry about things that are sad or things that make me mad, but I'm not, like, a happy crier. And I just lost it. So there's my funny Ian Somerhalder story. I was supposed to go meet him, but he had to cancel to film, and it made me sad. But yeah, now that I've blabbed through not the build, or through the whole build, but not about the build, here are the screenshots of the build. That's the sim I used to build the house. This is the lovely entryway. Here we have the stairs with like stuff behind it leading up to the second story. I don't know why I put in a second picture of the entryway. This is that weird, like, little waiting kind of hallway space. Don't know. And then we have the library, which, again, I'd put a chair in there now if I were you, but I didn't think about it. Then we have the guest bathroom, the very classy dining room, very white and gold. The kitchen, again, pretty simple, but it's not for the family, it's for the staff, so they don't really care. Then we have the movie theater, which does have gaming stuff in there because I thought that it would definitely be cool to game on a giant screen TV. And then we have the butler's quarters, which is very simple, not as elegant as the rest of the house, but it's not supposed to be. Then we have the grand piano, which is very, very pretty. I just love the way that that wall shines. Ugh, it's so pretty. And then there's the living room. This is the office, as you can plainly see. Really love the strong contrast of black and golds. We have the outside balcony off the living room. It has a little like heating coffee table, which I think is pretty cool. This is the master bedroom, which I absolutely love, and I'm not usually a fan of like monochrome rooms, but I really think it works in this case. Then the closet, another view of it. Pretty happy with the way this turned out. I love this whole master suite. And then we have a view of the toilet section of the master bathroom, and then that is from the toilet. So this literally is what you see when you sit on the toilet. I guess I cut out the bathroom like tub part, but that's okay. Here's a view of the gym, the daughter's bedroom. There's a view with that really pretty, like, I don't even know what that is. It's like abstract, but it looks like opal. I love it. And then her closet, which I think is super cool. Definitely a space that I think a teenage girl would like to hang out in. Then we have the brother's room, which again, he kind of told his mom no. Like, I'm gonna decorate my own room. You are gonna shut up and let me do it. And so she kind of just didn't argue with him. So it's definitely very nerdy, very techy. Then we have the main balcony, which has a full basketball court, a slip and slide, a barbecue area. And then this is a view from the parents' balcony at night. I just had to throw it in because it's so beautiful. And this is from the main balcony. So yeah, and then we're just gonna go around the apartment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and like I said, if you want to download it on the gallery, it is called the Luxe Life Penthouse. As always, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye everybody!